is Brenda Benning, and I became involved with this process on behalf of my mother. It was my mother and father's home, and both were having health issues, and then we lost my father, and my mother needed to sell her home, and so I became involved in that and started that process. We interviewed a few realtors, including bringing in Megan from McCurdy, just to discuss the option of maybe auctioning the house. We thought maybe that might be easier for us, and that's kind of where it came. It just seemed like the right fit after we spoke to her.
So actually, when Brenda first called me, it was right when the pandemic stuff was starting. So it was right around March or April, and she called, and her parents were both starting to get to a position to where maybe their health was declining, and they were looking at potentially selling the house and didn't know for sure what they were going to do yet, if they should list it or potentially auction it. And so Brenda called. So I was able to go over and meet with her and her sister and her mother and talk about the options and the auction process and if it was a good fit for them.
When we met Megan and discussed our needs with Megan and what was happening, it just made total sense. She gave us kind of a step-by-step process of how we start to tackle this gigantic monster that we had. It just seemed a little overwhelming. So she kind of helped us with getting in contact with the right people for the personal property and what to do with that, and having an online auction for the personal property, and then just what we needed to do to get the house ready to auction.
This was a little bit of a unique property. It's a big property, so over 3,000 square feet main level, but it was unfinished basement. And so it was truly just a 2-bedroom home, but a 6,000 square foot home. And they knew that was unique, and they knew it might be a little bit challenging to get interest on it. And so they were exploring the auction process for the timeliness of the process, the ease of being a cash as is transaction, knowing that her parents weren't probably in the position to go through inspections or repairs or remodeling quotes or finishing the construction in the basement quotes. And so I think that's what attracted them to the auction process in the beginning.
It was a little scary at first because you don't really know what's going to happen with auction, but we did some research and realized that those taboos of auction have changed so dramatically, and it just seemed like the right thing for us. We did by far better with the auction than we would have if we had listed it with just a regular real estate agent, because we were able to receive a lot more than what we probably would have listed it for.
So once it started, I don't think they anticipated how much traffic we were going to get on it. And you never know, going into any auction, how the public is going to respond. But this is one from the time our marketing launched. It just really went crazy. We had over 15,000 page views on our website. We ended up with actually 32 registered bidders. We had over 25 showings on the property, including some previews that had multiple people through at the same time. It just was overwhelming. And Brenda and I, through the whole process, were texting back and forth and calling back and forth of here's how many registered bidders and here's how many showings are going on. And I know they were a little bit overwhelmed with the traffic. I think it was a pleasant surprise to them to see how many people truly were interested in this home and appreciated this home.
It really became quite an adventure for us, between all of my children and my family, and just watching that. And then obviously Megan was in contact with us several times during that day also, and we just really didn't have any idea what to expect, and really our expectations were by far exceeded.
I know that she talked to some different real estate agents, and they had given her an idea of what they thought fair market value was. We're always happy to hear when I know that our results far exceeded that. And so for her, she had expressed several times to me how thankful she was that she chose this process, because she truly feels like it maximized the value and was able to put those proceeds in her mother's pocket.